Welcome to this video. By end of this video, we would have solved 7 questions where we set up algebraic equations and solve them for unknown numbers in those cases. Okay, let's get to the first problem and we'll see how to do it. So let's read the question. Add 4 to 8 times a number, you get 60. So you add 4 to 8 times a number, you get 60. What does that actually mean? What are we supposed to find? These kind of questions always look for what is unknown. In this case, number is unknown. So let's call that x, okay? You can call it y, you can call it a, you can call it b. Doesn't matter. Pick an algebraic thing. I'm picking x as my variable. And then let's look at the next step. 8 times a number. So what is 8 times a number? It is 8 multiplied by x. Then we are saying add 4. So it will be 8x plus 4. And then you're saying you get 60. So it will become equal 60. So this is how we get the algebraic equation. So we started with a number. So that's 8x. 8 times a number. So that's 8x. You added 4 to it. So that's 8x plus 4. And then you get 60. So now we have the equation. What is the next step? So the next step is solving the equation. And to solve the equation, you follow the normal steps. So for example, if you were to solve this equation, what is that we will do? We will do 8x plus 4 equals 60. You add minus 4 on both sides. What happens? Why do we do that? Because these two will cancel. And we get 8x equals 60 minus 4, which is 56. And then you divide both sides by 8. What do you get? So 8 get cancelled. And you end up with x being 7. Okay, I've done it in a different way using a nice table here, but you can look at it that we are trying to solve 8x plus 4 equals 60. We subtracted 4 from both sides as you saw in the earlier page, and you get 8x equals 56, and then we divided both sides by 8. That is this step, and you get the answer x equals 7. Yeah, got it? Cool. Now let's go to the second question and we'll try to learn how to do these kind of questions by practicing it more than once. Okay, now let's look at the second question. What is the second question? 1/5 of a number minus 4 gives 3. Okay, 1/5 of a number minus 4 gives 3. How do you do that? So again, let's look at what we need to find. We need to find a number which we don't know. So we start with x. Okay, you can use y, you can use n, you can use whatever you want, like I said in the previous example. But in this case, we are going to use x. And what are we saying? 1/5 of the number. So you do 1 times 1 by 5 multiplied by x. And then it's saying minus 4. So that is minus 4. And that gives 3. Okay, so this is the problem we're trying to solve. If I write it in a neat way, it is x divided by 5 minus 4 equals 3. How do you solve this? I mean, it's a standard way of solving this, isn't it? So you do plus 4 on both sides. Then minus 4 cancels. So you get x by 5 equals 7. And then you multiply by 5 both sides. So you multiply by 5 both sides. You end up figuring out x equals 35. So I've done this with kind of detail, but you can take a look. X by 5 minus 4 is 3. And we're adding 4 to both sides. That gives x divided by 5 equals 7. Then we multiply both sides by 5. We get x equals 35. That's the final answer. All right, question number 3. Let's see what is going on in question number 3. If I take 3/4 of a number and add 3 to it, I get 21. So what's the number? That's the number we're looking for. Let's call it x. How much of a number? 3/4 of a number. So that'll be 3/4 x. What do we need to add? We need to add 3. So that'll be plus 3. What do you get if you add 3? You get 21. So that'll be equals 21. So that is the equation. So I'm not going to do this in detail in this case. Let's just look at the solution, okay? So the solution is like the previous examples. You subtract 3 from both sides, and then you multiply both sides by kind of inverse of the x coefficient. You get the answer, x equals 24. You can look at this at your own leisure and see the various steps, but basically you get the idea how to do this. Okay, it's no different than solving any standard algebraic equation. The fourth one says, when I subtracted 11 from twice a number, this is interesting, there's a twice a number here, the result is 15. All right, let's start. Where is a number? There's a number. So that's x for you. Twice a number. What is twice a number? It is 2 times x. That's 2x. When I subtracted 11, okay, what does that mean? It is 2x minus 11. That's what it means. What's the result? What is the result we get? It says 15. 15 is the result. So your equation is 2x minus 11 equals 15. This is one of the simplest equations you can see. And the way to solve it is you add plus 11 on both sides first. And once you add plus 11, you divide by 2, you get the answer. Okay, let's look at how it is actually done. So you have the equation that you need to solve. You add 11 to both sides, you get 2x equals 26. And then you divide by both sides by 2, you get x equals 13. X equals 13 is your answer. Okay, now let's look at the fifth question then. Munna, now we have a name. Munna subtracts thrice the number of notebooks he has. So he has some notebooks. He subtracts thrice the number from 50. Okay, this is interesting. Now he subtracts from 50. Instead of subtracting a constant, he's subtracting from a constant. He finds the result to be 8. Okay, let's look at the number. What do we do? What are we trying to find? We're trying to find number of notebooks in this case. That's x. How much? He's saying 3x because thrice the number. And what is he doing? Is he doing subtracting from 50 or is he subtracting 50? He's subtracting from 50. So that will be 50 minus 3x. Now this is important. If you make a mistake here, you will get your answer wrong. Then he's finding the result and that is 8. So which means 50 minus 3x equals 8. Okay. If you were to solve this, the steps are, so how do you solve 50 minus 3x equals 8? You solve it by similarly subtracting 50 from both sides, and then you divide both sides by minus 3. You get the answer as x equals 14. Like the previous questions, formulating this expression is critical. Once you get that expression, solving it is quite similar to other questions. Okay, let's look at the sixth one now. We have Ibenhal. So Ibenhal is a lady and she thinks of a number. If she adds 19 to it and divides the sum by 5, she gets 8. All right, so let's look at what that means. She thinks of a number. What do we need to do for number? Let's call it x. She adds 19 to it. All right, so let's add 19 to it. And she divides the sum by 5. Okay, she doesn't divide 19. She divides the sum. So we have to do the whole thing. And we divide that by 5. And what do you get? You get 8. So that's the equation. So this is different from other equations because you have x plus 19 divided by 5 equals 8. Right? So x plus 19 divided by 5 equals 8. So it's kind of different. And there is a slight different way of solving. So in this case, first we multiply by 5 so that we can remove the denominator. And then we subtract. So the order is kind of different. Okay? So then we subtract minus 19. Let's see how to do it. So first we multiply both sides by 5. That kind of removes this divided by 5. We get x plus 19 equals 40. And then we subtract 19 from both sides and we get x equals 21. So that's the answer we get. Final question, 7. So here we have Mr. Anwar. He thinks of a number. Good. He takes 7 from 5 by 2 of the number. This is interesting. The result is 23. All right. Let's look at what that is. So we have a number x and he takes away 7. So there's a minus 7 somewhere. From phi 2 of the number. So it is phi 2 of the number. So that is phi 2x minus 7 equals, the result is 23. Okay, this is critical. So we have to do phi 2 of the number. So this becomes phi 2x and then you have take away 7, so that becomes minus 7, and then you have result is 23, so that's why we write it like that. So it's quite important to write this properly. So if I write it properly, you have 5 by 2x minus 7 equals 23. Okay, solving, standard method. You first add 7 to both sides, and then you divide both sides by kind of inverse of 5 by 2, which is 2 by 5, and you get the answer x equals 12. Sorry, not divide by, but multiply. You can divide by 5 by 2, which is equivalent to multiplying by 2 by 5. All right, so we've tried 7 questions here, and hopefully you have seen how to formulate an equation, how to set up an equation. And the key is setting up an equation, okay? Once you set up the equation, solving is quite similar. But if you set up the equation wrong, then what would happen is you'll not get the correct answer. Okay, good luck with your real problems. In the next video, we'll look at other questions. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. You will get further notifications when we publish a new video.